Good dragon gang, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing what if Deku was Garue from One Punch Man. Sorry if I said his name wrong. Yeah, but without further ado, let's get into the video. Midoriya asks his mom when can he learn what his quirk is, and she says, "How about today?" And Midoriya says, "Okay." And then they get ready, and then they get into the car and drive to the court doctor. They start examining Midoriya, and then they tell Inko that he's quirkless, and Inko is just disappointed, angry, as she feels hatred towards Midoriya, and Midoriya can just feel that something bad is about to happen to him. And Inko says, "Thank you for telling me." And then she grabs Midoriya's arm and takes him outside and starts gripping his arm tighter and throws him into the car. And she says, "Don't say anything, you little brat." And Midoriya says, Why are you calling me a brat?" And she says, "Because you are one." "Okay. But why?" "Because you're quirkless." And then Midoriya, because they didn't tell Midoriya, they just told Inko. Midoriya just says, "What? You're quirkless." "Yes, you're useless, actually." "But, Mom, what? Why? Why do you have to be mean to me, though? I didn't do anything wrong." "You did do something. You did do everything wrong," Inko said. "You don't have a quirk, so I won't get rich. As you don't have a quirk, then I can't get rich. So now, I'm gonna beat you to bloody hell." And she takes Midoriya home. When they get home, she throws Midoriya into the house and then starts beating on him like non-stop. She beating on him for an entire hour. Midoriya had a black eye, which was kind of permanent, but not permanent at the same time. It would last for a year. And she broke a few of his bones inside, but not cracked, but like they have cracks on them. And then she says, "Go to your room." And Midoriya's just crying. But there's something inside of him. And it was hatred. Hatred at his mom. Hatred that he couldn't do anything. Hatred that he was useless. He goes into his room and cries into his pillow non-stop. And he goes to sleep. The next day, Midoriya goes downstairs and says, "Mom, I'm hungry." And Inko said, "I don't care, fix yourself some food." And then Midoriya says, "I don't know how to, I'm 5. And she says, "Then you're gonna starve." Okay. And he goes back into his room. He looks up then he tries to let his hatred out. So he looks up some karate moves. And he starts doing them, like the roundhouse, the judo flip, the neck breaker, and all of the rest. Not all of them, but some of them. And then he accidentally puts a hole through the wall when he did a roundhouse. And Midori says, no, please, no. Mama's gonna kill me. And then she busts into the room and says, what did you do to my what do you do to my fucking wall? And sorry for all the Inko lovers. And Midori said, I'm sorry, I accidentally broke it. Accidentally? Inko said, You better fix my wall. I'm putting you up for adoption, you damn useless child. And Midori says, fine. He tries to fix it, but he can't. And then Inko comes in 5 minutes later. And she says, so you didn't fix the wall, huh? Well, I put you up for adoption so I could get some money. And Midori says, no. Why? Inside his head. She grabs him by his hair and drags him down the stairs. And then she starts tracking she didn't pack anything from Midori, except she gave him his All Might figure. And then she gives Midori his All Might figurine and tosses him into the car. It drives him to the adoption center. It pulls him out. It has his hand, so he can't run. And then she says, I would like to put this child up for adoption to the adoption people. But these people are just evil. And then they say, what is his name? And Inko says, Izuku Midoriya, a disgrace to our family name. And then they say, why would you say that? Because he's quirkless. And then they say, so he is a disgrace. And then they say, here's $10,000. And she says, thank you. See you later, brat. I'm going to have a new life without you. Inko said. I'm just, it's sad. He only sees hatred toward everybody. But he still has hope that there are good people in the world. A slight hope. And then they put him inside a dark room. And Midori says, oh yeah, I forgot to say, Silver Bang is going to be inside here. And then they put him inside a dark room. Just pitch black, nothing in there. It's a wall. That's a room for quirkless people. Because he can't have food for an hour, can't have anything for an hour. Yeah, so like I was saying, they put him inside a dark room with no food for an entire day. He has to do this for the rest of his life until somebody adopts him. He gets to know his surroundings. But then he starts doing karate in the dark to see where all the walls were. But he can feel the vibrations of where the walls were and where they were not. So now he just sat down, closed his eyes, and started meditating. And went inside his mindscape and started training his spirit and willpower and pride. And then a day later, and then after a day, they threw him out and put him where all the other kids were. And then he meets 2 Pacific kids that he took up to a liking to. Then he sees a boy with the white hair and a boy with the black hair. And then they walk up to him and they say, "Hey, what's your name?" "My name is Azuku Midoriya, but you can just call me Azuku. I don't want to use that last name." And they say, "Okay, Azuku, what's your quirk?" And then Midoriya says, "Well, I'm quirkless." And they say, "Huh, that's okay. We're quirkless too." And then Midoriya says, So you're quirkless too?" Huh. I don't think I have ever met anybody like me before. And then they say, "Nah, it's alright. You'll get used to it." And then Midoriya asks their names. The boy with white hair is Kiba. The boy with black hair is Kyrie. And then they tell him their names. And they say, "Huh, so you're Kyrie and you're Kiba. Nice names." And then Kiba, the boy with the white hair, says, "So did they put you inside that room too?" And Doria says, "You mean that room with everything is black?" And then Kiba says, "Yes." And then Kyrie says, "Oh yeah, did we mention that we're related?" And Doria says, "Huh, no, I did not know that. So do you guys want to be friends?" And they say yes. And Doria tells them, he whispers to them, "Guys, I'm planning to break out of here in 1 month. So this is what we're gonna do." He tells them the plan. The plan is, well, they have like little bars on the side of behind the library, like behind the bookshelf. And the plan is to break the bars so they can climb through and get away. And they say, "We're in it. We're on. No, we're with you." And Midoriya says, "Good." But then Kyrie says, the boy with the back hair says, "But where are we gonna stay?" "I know somewhere you can stay. It's the old dojo. I used to go there on my spare time when my mom took care of for me." "Okay, sorry for if we bothered, if we mess. Sorry if we hit our nerves there." And Midoriya says, "It's okay. I used to it." And then 1 month, he teaches karate, like a roundhouse, judo, flip, and he teaches them how to disable your opponent for a short time. So they all know the same moves, but Midoriya is more experienced. Alright, so 1 month later, at night, at night, they break through the the uh, the wall, and then they make a run for it to the dojo. It's 5 miles away. They all run as fast as they can, and then they get to the dojo. But Midoriya sees something that's different. The wall, they have a giant staircase, and then Kiba, the boy with the white hair, just in case you forgot, says, "Has this always been here?" And Midoriya says, "No, it has never been here, actually." So, I guess we're gonna have to run up there, Kyrie says. Alright, Midoriya says. He grabs their hands and he says, up 3, we're all gonna run. We're gonna combine our speeds together. Okay? Midoriya starts calculating the stair height and their speed together. They should get there in about 2 hours. Okay. Or 3. 1, 2, 3. And then they all run at their full speed. They all run at their full speed. Running as fast as they can. They get exhausted so quickly, but they keep running no matter what. And then, an hour later, they run into a wild animal. And the animal was a bear on the mountain. And they say, Kiba and Kyrie says, is that a bear? And Midoriya says, yes, just calm down. It's gonna attack us. So we need to fight back, Midoriya says. And then the bear starts charging at them. And they say, okay, how about we do that move where we disable our opponent? And then Midoriya says, that's actually a good idea. And then the bear scratches Kyrie right in the chest, leaving a scratch mark right there, a giant one. And Kyrie screams out in pain. And then Kiba gets mad and starts punching the bear with all his might. And he's literally beating the dog shit out of the bear. And then Midoriya says, wow, he's really strong, but I'm stronger. And don't forget, they are 12 years old at this point. So, I think they will stand a chance. And Midoriya hops in and starts punching the bear and disable it. It starts to disable it. And he grabs Kyrie and put him on his shoulders. And they carry Kyrie to the top of the mountain. And they knock on the door, says, please, is anybody there? Help us! And then Silver Bear says, hello? And then he sees Kyrie, blood all over his shirt. It says, come in instantly, please, now. And then they put him on the karate pad. Yeah, they lay him down on that. And he says, go get the bandages. And then Kiba says, where? They're inside the dresser upstairs. And he says, okay. And he runs up there and gets the bandages. Midoriya. And then Bang says, hey, you go get the stitchers. And he says, okay, but where are they? They're inside the medic room. And he says, okay. And he runs to get it. And then they both come back with this stuff. And Bang stitches up the scratch marks and lays Kyrie inside the bed. And he says, what are you kids doing out here at this time? And then they say, well, Kyrie is knocked out, so Midoriya says, we escaped an adoption center because they were abusing us. And then Silverbane says, oh, I see. So, do you want to live with me? And then both of them say, yes, please. And he says, okay. And somehow he got adoption papers. Like, they just popped out of nowhere. And he writes their name and sends the adoption papers to the place where you adopt people. But they don't know who they really are. And then Bang says, so tell me your names, you two. And Midori says, my name is Izuku, but I don't like to use my last name because that's my mom's last name. And Bang says, huh, okay, interesting. And you? My name is Kiba. And he says, Kiba, huh? So what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a hero. And then Midori says, you want to be a hero too? And then he says, yeah, I've always wanted to be one. Me too. And then Bang says, so who's the kid that's not down? Kiba says, he's my brother, Kyrie. We got attacked by a bear. I see. So you encountered that bear. Okay, you go get some rest. But Midoriya doesn't sleep. He just closes his eyes and meditates. And then the day after, then Midoriya opens his eyes and gets up before Kyrie and Kiba. But Midoriya has to wake them up. And he says, wake up, guys. And then Kiba says, okay. And Kyrie says, where are we? The dojo. And he says, oh. And yeah, he said, come now. I think he's cooking breakfast for us. But then they see on the news, All Might has just fought off one. This is the time when All Might got his injury. And they just say, what? No, All Might. And then Midoriya says, it's okay. He's the #1 hero. He can get through anything. And then Kyrie says, yeah, he's right. And then Kiba says, yeah, I guess you're right. And then Bang says, here's your food. Eat up. And then Midoriya says, oh yeah, we forgot to ask you last night. What's your name? My name is Silver Fang Bang, but Bang for short. Okay, Bang. Do you know taijutsu or anything? And then he says, of course, I know all the taijutsus. And then Midoriya says, okay, but can you teach me and my friends some of them? And then Bang says, sure. I really don't care. And they say, okay. And for the last year, they have trained. Midoriya is 13. Kiba is 14. And Kyrie, the black-haired one, is, well, the same age as Midoriya. One year later, they look like this. Sorry for the bad noise. My brother watching Living Maddie. I don't know what it is. It's a old Disney Channel show for 2013 something. Alright, let's get back to the video. A year later, they all look like this. Remember, white hair, Kiba. Black hair, Kyrie. Green hair, you know who that is. Alright, let's get into the video. And then a year later, Bang taught them almost all of his techniques. And now Bang has set them up to become heroes. But they had to wait for like 2 years. No, a year to become heroes. Well, they're gonna go to UA, but they had to wait for a year for UA to open. So Midoriya goes on his own little trip. He says, I'll be back. You guys keep trading. I'm going on my own adventure. They say, okay, stay safe, Midoriya. No, they say, stay safe, Izuku. And he says, I will. he jumps off the mountain and uses rock crushing water. Sorry, I haven't watched One Punch Man in a while. Water crushing rock and punches the ground. And then he starts running. And then he goes on a little trip to another city. A city called, well, no, he goes to America to learn some new techniques. Oh yeah, I'm also gonna add he can copy people's abilities. It's his quirk, he just do it. He goes to America. Oh yeah, I'm also gonna be adding I know this is gonna be weird, but I'm gonna be adding Spider-Man to this. Please don't hate me. Spider-Man to this. He goes to America. He sees Spider-Man and challenges him to a fight. A friendly spar. And Peter says, gladly. And they start doing martial arts. Peter does a back kick, but Izuku dodges it. And then Izuku goes in for a right hook, but then Peter blocks it and kicks Midoriya to the face. Midoriya says, you're good, but let's see if you can handle this. Rock crushing water. Kick! It kicks Peter into the wall. And Peter says, this is fun. It shoots his wheel, pulling Midoriya off the building. And then he starts flinging Midoriya around in the air. It hits him into a building. It starts dragging his head into the building. And then he kicks Midoriya up into the air. And then jumps up off the building and starts delivering a massive blows and punches to Midoriya. He does left hooks, right hooks. And then he does like 20 punches. And then his final blow to Midoriya is a spinning kick, cracking Midoriya's ribs. Well, no, breaking Midoriya's rib cage. And Peter says, are you okay? And Midoriya says, yeah, I'm fine. It was water crushing rock. It hits Peter in the ribs, breaking almost all of Peter's bones, almost paralyzing him. But since Peter, he can regenerate, so he regenerated off of that, but his body is still broken. He says, Peter starts coughing up blood from his mouth. He says, what was that? It says, one of my techniques. And then he kicks Peter in the face. It starts, beating the living hell out of Peter. He hits him with the knee to the gut. Then there's a haymaker. Peter tries to punch him, but Midoriya dodges it and punches him in the face, knocking Peter back. Peter's about to fall off the roof, but because he's unconscious. But Midoriya jumps off. Does a grappling hook. But no, he jumps off, starts running on the wall, and catches Peter before he falls in his Spider-Man costume. And he takes a hit for Peter. He hits the car. Well, his back hits the car, like what Miles did inside the game. And he says, are you alright? And then Peter says, yeah. Then Midoriya says, come on, let me take you somewhere. He takes him somewhere in the hill. And then Peter wakes up fully and says, wow, you're strong. Also, if you want to use some of my gear, then you can use them. He sends him his modified spider hooks, which can electrocute people. And Midoriya says, thanks. And Peter says, no problem. But then they start training for an entire year beside the helicarrier. So he knows, Midoriya knows a lot of moves, but he hasn't been the only one busy. Kyrie and Kiba have been on their own journey together. They have been to New York. They met somebody really strong. And that person is, please don't hate me, sorry. They meet the Flash. And he tried to follow him, but he's too fast for him. And he says, so what's your name? But he's phasing, so we can't see his face. And they say, my name is Kyrie. And this is my brother, Kiba. They said, what do you want? And came here looking for somebody called the Flash. And then Barry says, you're just a look, because I'm the Flash. And they say, no way, you're so fast, but how? I can't tell you that, sorry. And they say, it's okay. We know about secret identities. But can you teach us a few of your tricks? Obviously they can't do that, but they could do some of his fighting stances and some of his weapons. But then they say bye after learning a few things from him. And then they go back to Japan. And then they wait for Midoriya at the airport. They say, hey Izuku. And Midoriya says, hey guys, what have you been doing? Nothing really. I trained with somebody called Spider-Man. They say, Spider-Man? That sounds so fake. And he says, sure. But we trained with somebody called the Flash. I heard about him before. But how about we say we go to UA? And they say, yeah! But before that, Midoriya says, you guys go ahead. I'm going to go back to the mountain. Midoriya goes back to the mountain.